was going to say you could sit over there.
I could. I'll sit here today. Alright, I want you to take out the book that we just previewed last time. The River. I also want you to take out your stars and your steps. We're going to take a look at what our goals were.
Is this?
Yep.
I forgot what my goal was.
And do you guys remember again what we talked about last time?
I can't remember.
We talked about
Fluency?
very important word, yes, schema. And then you guys wrote some notes in your journals about schema that you had about the river. And many of you had different ideas and different experiences with river. Jackson said it's fresh water. You said it's surrounded by land, Cadence. Yvette had some stories about that there's minnows in it. So you guys all had different schema about that. So I want you to be thinking about your schema as you read. And I also want you to be thinking about your stars and your steps. So Jackson, let's review your stars and your steps. Tell me what you're really good at in reading.
I can't remember what it says.
Well, you'll have to read it.
Accuracy.
And then what are you going to work on? Go ahead and read it.
This one?
Yep.
Use uppercase letters and periods when writing.
Okay. So as you're noticing that when you are reading, I want you to notice how this author uses uppercase and uses punctuation. Yvette, what was your goals?
Knowing words as soon as I see them.
Okay, so you were working on some fluency, and tell me what your stars were.
Chunking words.
Chunking
and
words.
accuracy.
And accuracy. Okay. And Cadence, tell me about your stars.
But chunking words and
What were you going to work on?
pictures and
Using pictures and sounds, okay, and parts of words
to
figure out
figure out.
words that you don't know, okay? So remember, always check the picture and then check the sound to make sure that it matches. So as you're reading today, if you come to a word that's tricky, we're going to practice what our steps are. So why don't we start by opening up our book to the title page? And let's use about,
The window. But it is right there.
let's use like a level 1 voice so that I can hear all of you reading, okay?
The
I'm
window.
going to check this really quick. Yep.
On the mountain. Has writing on it. From the mountain. I didn't know they came from the mountain. They do.
Can you put it down so I can see your print?
The river comes over the rocks. The river comes over the river comes. No, the river comes from the mountains. The river comes over the rocks. The river comes through the. I think you skipped a page.
You can just listen. That's why we're going to read in this quiet voice, just like we do in the classroom. So that wherever you're at is okay.
Past the trees. The river comes through the city. The river comes through the park. The river comes under the bridge. The river comes to the sea.
Okay? I'm going to have Cadence come back, and can you read this page for me?
The river comes over past the tree. You just give
Okay, give one more page for me, please.
The river comes over the city.
And I heard Jackson make a comment as he was reading. I didn't know that. Did you maybe add something to your schema that you didn't know and now you do?
I didn't know that they come from I didn't even know they come to the ocean.
They come into the ocean, into the sea. Yeah, the rivers have to flow somewhere, don't they?
And then that has to make a dam.
And then they can make a dam. Okay, so that's what we do as readers. We think about our schema, and then as we read, we notice things that we didn't have in our schema, and we can add it in there, can't we? So now we can add that into our schema. Jackson, did you notice how the author used uppercase letters and punctuation when writing?
Nope.
Why don't you take another look at that? That was your steps, and then we're going to do some writing, so I want you to take a look at that, okay? And did the words come easily to you? Were you fluent as you were reading that?
Some of them didn't.
Some of them
like
didn't.
one word.
Okay. And what strategy did you use when you came to that word?
First I tried to sound it out, so that didn't really help me. So I was gonna chunk it, but I chunked it like this, like I was gonna close half my eye so I could only see this word, and then I closed half my eye, and I closed this eye to see only this word, and then I went like this.
So you covered part of the word, and that was your next strategy. And then how did you finally figure it out?
Then after I'm done, I did it with my finger again, and then I went, ow, ooh, because I tried that and then it didn't make sense, so I tried ooh, because I knew O makes ooh too.
Right. So you used a lot of strategies. Your mind was really working. You tried to chunk it, sound it out, cover parts. What makes sense, didn't you? Okay, and Cadence, did you use the pictures and sounds and parts of words to figure out words you didn't know?
I used the pictures a little because it kind of does go through the city.
Okay, so when you weren't sure of city, you looked at the picture and it looks like a city. So you did use some pictures.
Because it's one of the half cities.
So that gave you a clue, didn't it? And that helped you understand and make sure that you found what made sense. And then Jackson, now that you've had an opportunity to check with the author, did you notice some uppercase letters and some punctuation when reading?
What is level A?
Oh, we don't need to worry about the level. We're just talking about schema today. And did you notice that they used some uppercase letters and some punctuation? Okay. Why don't you guys take out your journals? Get you some pencils.
And I'm not that big of a fan of writing.
Well, we have to practice, don't we?
Yeah.
And that will make us get better and better.
Ooh, I got some.
You guys have so many great ideas.
You have a